Mmm. Ooh, chest is out. Yum. Nice. What's going on, world? Let me put a filter on so I can be pretty. Lloyd Banks over here, shooting this lovely, lovely video. Happy birthday to all the devil dogs out there. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that served, whether you deployed, whether you... Actually, wait. I think it's time of service and deployments. Because there's people that haven't deployed that have been there for a long time. I'm transitioning. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't kid that. I shouldn't kid right there. Those people that are transitioning that don't play. But damn, what I'm gonna say. Oh, with veterans and stuff. Here's my thing. So as far as like days like today and yesterday, the way that people treat veterans, and this is just coming from an experience as a veteran, sometimes like people kind of take us as a poster child or poster children, where all because we've done service. Oh boy, here comes my veteran friend. Even though I've met him outside the service, not inside the service, he's asking me some craziness, some text me some crazy. What if you were in prison and your cellmate Damien offers you a free hot dog? Oh my gosh. Happy Veterans Day. Sometimes it's cool that, you know, if people like talk to us and stuff like that, like people like communicate with us, you know, just like, especially in this day and age, because you never know like how lonely a veteran can get. There's a lot of lonely veterans out there. There's those that like, there are women, in real talk, there are women who are afraid to be intimate with a man because they were abused by men in their stables and possibly raped within the family. I say family, that's what I'm talking about, the same platoon, the same company, etc. Even like, yeah, I said platoon, but, and you know, and then like, you know, you try to like, hey, you know, you try to voice your opinion at one point, and then you ended up getting bamboozled, and you end up getting shamed and shammed, and so you have to live with that. And then you live in your life and you've seen the Me Too movement and all these women coming out with their stories, and you're still afraid to come out with yours because, you know, you still have military ties, but you know that it's a man's world in there. It's women like that sometimes you just need to reach out and talk to. I know I'm about to reach out to one of my old platoon mates. She really wasn't in my camp when I joined, but she was a part of the family before I showed up. You know, she was she worked for my company. Oh, she worked for my team. I can't remember names now. Like I'm so far gone from the Marine Corps, like I don't remember titles, but yeah, like I never like really got inside her story. I just kind of knew like at the time like she was just like this harsh sergeant, and you know, she wanted to be as competitive as the men and things like that. But I think we crossed paths like once or twice active, but never like to an extent. Because like I said, she was in the same company as me, but then she went off to another company, and I when I went to got stationed, I was with that company that she left. So I'm about to see how she's doing and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I try to reach out to some. I'll even reach out to my old buddy from Utah, like see how he's doing. Just because like we were really good friends, and then I don't know, things kind of got strained a bit. But then like eventually he moved to another state, and then once he moved to another state, we stopped talking, but he hits me up every once in a while, which is cool. What is going on? Why are you? Oh, because the streaming. That's why I've been doing a lot of streaming. So then, like between streaming here and then streaming there, because if you stream, if you every month you get a certain amount of data, and then you go over and things start to slow down. It sucks because like I shouldn't have replayed back the song, because now it's like slow. It's acting really slow, but who cares? You know, and I talked to a friend, and then nothing against her. She would do stuff like that, and like you know, she'll hit me up, like, "Oh, happy Veterans Day, thank you for your service." I'm just like, your usual routine, your round routine. I'm like, you know, I just suggested like, hey, won't you, you know, you and your husband go have the night off, go on a nice, casual commercial dinner date. You know, just be like, hey, I'm here for a veteran. You know, you never know. I told you, you never know. Someone might actually offer you free food. You know, and off the cheaper, probably the cheaper bit. But hey, I mean that's one free meal, and then you know, you're going for a good cause. You know, you're going for a veteran, and you know, you really are showing appreciation and love for veterans. Like a lot of veterans, I mean. And then, like, you know, you're going out, you know, you can take your little photos, you know, oh, my meal, you know, and obviously you post it later on. You don't just post it right there and then. You don't want we call them ops, you know, you don't want your ops knowing where you live, you know, you want to always protect yourself, stay dangerous at all time. But like, you know, post your photos later, you know, wish all the veterans happy Veterans Day. You went out to eat, you know, in celebration of you. You know, just thank you for your service. Like, just it's more because, like, I'm telling you, like, all the services there are to help us get off our feet. I'm gonna give you the rule of thumb. They have to help married Marines first. First, they help the married Marines, the ones that are like kind of to date, because they're the living and they're the ones that have to take care of the kids, and like the military. And that's a good look if you can take care of your kids. So to look out for them first. Then they look out for the oldies that are still alive, because eventually they'll kick. But as long as they don't kick, they can still get the service that they need in order to survive. So they help out them. And then once they help out them, they help out then they start to help on a case-to-case basis. So they'll help single Marines that like have like some form of like first to go physical abilities, then they go mental abilities. If you're incapable of like, if you have to like get assistance to walk, if you have to like be rolling a wheelchair, if you need nursing service because you can't get around on your own, they help those first. And then the mental ones, they help those on a case to case basis as well. Like usually from like really mentally like nutcase to like mentally like distressed or something like that. And so a guy like myself, mentally distressed, I'm not gonna get the service that I need from services. Like and there's like hundreds of them. There's like thousands of them. I think in the entire state of California, there's like hundreds of thousands of them all across the nation. Might be millions. But because there's so little money being put into like militaries in military funding, there's so little money still for the veterans. You know, like if they need release for houses, if they need a loan for they need a loan for food, they need just certain things like like I said, they go on a case to case basis and they see if you're married with children. Then they see if you are like old and incapable, and then they see if you're old and capable, and then etc. Because when they started all the military funding, they started the funding when guys were coming back and like they were incapable of getting the service, like they're getting abilities. Like some people need more and they can't do anything even though they gave their service. So they got mental funding, and then the death rates were like a lot younger, and so you knew they were gonna die soon. But because we went to war with Afghanistan. Yeah, we didn't even declare war. We just said we were just running in your country. A lot of people that shouldn't have died, or a lot of people that should have died, didn't die. A lot of people that lived survived, and a lot of people that were unscathed lived and saw. And so you're able to go to a combat zone, and you were able to, or you're able to go to a combat country, and then you're able to make it back alive and unscathed. And even if like you went in there with like just strong intentions, and you came out and you were like completely like, I hate life, I hate my life, and you just don't feel right, you know. Yeah, like just seeing how the enemy can be your friends and how your supposed friends can be your enemies is really ugly over there. Like, man, and then like I just felt like nobody understood. And now like I see that a lot of people are really kind of coming out, especially veterans are coming out with their stories of like their experiences and stuff like that. And it's sad because like people shouldn't have to experience like racism. People shouldn't have to experience like life threats. Like you don't even know if people are gonna do it because you hear stories of people doing it. Like your platoon mates killing each other because they're arguing, they're fighting, and this and that, and then you sit there and you have nobody on your side, and you don't even know who on top you can just look after, and you just feel like you have to like load your gun because it can jump off. Like then you're just gonna feel like you're gonna die because your own platoon mates are gonna like off you. It's one of those things where like I replay it over and over in my head, and this is at the time too. I'm just kind of reminiscing at the time, and like I got to a point where like I'm just like, do what you want. Like I'm not, I try. I have no energy at all. Like you think that I want to go to you think I want to go to Afghanistan again and deal with the same people that put me through this? Like hell no. I want to get out. And like yeah, I remember going to my first therapy session. Like I don't care how people felt about me. I just went to first therapy session, and like I wish I can say that the military did that to me, but and that's instilled fear. I thought that they instilled fear in me, and I realized that it didn't come from there. Actually, no, no, no. Why did I go to therapy? I think for me, it was just a comfort zone. It was like at that time, it was just a comfort zone. I had my car. I think I had a point at my car, or I was renting a car, something like that. And I could just leave the shop and just like go to therapy and just like be able to like just talk through my experiences and just like, yeah, like I don't remember what half the stuff I said in therapy. Like a lot of stuff I say, like nowadays, like we try not to say, like anything that relates to like self harm, anything that relates to self like imploding, like any type of harm to yourself, physically and negative. We train ourselves not to say these things because of political correctness. But once I got to California, and then I was able to go to those therapy sessions. Like, yeah, they try to steer me into taking depression pills, but I don't know. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to take those mental pills. I wasn't ready to take those yet because I, you know, I don't like the whole mind manipulation. And then like what really made me decide like I can't do this. I was at one session and he was explaining to me what it was and what it does. And I'm sitting and I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like it kind of resembles art of cocaine. I never done it. I never tried coke. I was offered coke. I even returned some coke. What you call? I even had a chick that was, that found coke or whatever. And for me, I was like, man, because I always hear stories about coke, and then sometimes like you can get you a batch, and it's not like the purest of pure. If you have to sit there and question whether something's pure or not, then I'm not for it. I rather something I know. Oh yeah, this plant grew off the ground and whatever. This plant grew off a lab, whatever. And so I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I don't feel like this. I don't feel like this manipulation, this mind manipulation. So I was just like, and then plus like I felt like like more and more and more I'm starting to like free myself. All the stuff that I feared in here in my heart, it was starting to come out. And then in one therapy session, when I finally learned where I found my fear from, where I got my fear factor from, once I finally learned, it smacked me in the face. I'm like, wow. All this time I didn't even know. And all this time, like, it really, it really smacked me in the face. I was like, damn, I can't believe that. I can't believe the fear was instilled in me at the age of 5. Like, I lived in fear. Ever since the day I saw my brother get beat, I just can't believe, like, my own parents, like, and it wasn't even like, I can't say like both, but my father definitely, like, it sucked. But at the same time, I'm glad I learned that because, when it comes to this parenting, like, I want to know, like, where I can go wrong and where I can, like, slip up and become that very fear instilled in her. And, yeah, be scared, be afraid. But to fear, no, don't fear me. Because there's bigger things to fear out there than me. Yeah, to you, you might get scared because, I go, roar. But that's only because you think that it's okay to do this.
When in reality, if you continue to do this, if I don't intervene, you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to put yourself in bodily harm. And I don't want to have to show you through allowing you to make your mistakes. I'd rather stop you before you make those mistakes. Because there are times when I try to stop her before she makes mistakes, and she goes and she makes those mistakes, and I'm like, hey, you know. And then, like, you know, I'll sit her down, and I'll talk to her, and I'll tell her, like, hey, you gotta learn how to listen. And I stern, tone, look. Why? Because this is something that, like, if I was raising myself all over again, this is something that I would want to, and this is something I want to train her in discipline. Because that's something I've learned. Yeah, I'm not gonna, like, I'm gonna wild out as much as I can, but I know not to wild out around certain people. And, you know, if I'm not gonna wild out, and I'm just gonna, like, you know, be observant, be cool, be calm, you know, I'm gonna do my thing. But when the arguments just got, like, ridiculous, and then, like, I'll get in trouble for, like, not helping my little sister or something, or not wanting to be friendly with my little sister or whatever. I mean, it's not. We don't all have to be friends. It's not a big deal. I mean, we're all, if it's organic, it's organic. But, you know, they try to force stuff on me because of her, and I'm like, yeah, y'all try to force my brother and sister on me, but once that didn't work, you know, y'all did our thing. You know, I got into video games, had my own homies. You know, my older sister had her friends. You know, she went out. You know, that was that. You know, I get it. You know, like, I get it. I'm way too young. I'm like 5 years young, 7 years younger. You know, they're not going to want to hang out with someone like that, especially when they're a teenager. I'm a child. They're not going to hang out with someone like that. I get it. You know, but it was just crazy. It was just real stuff. I mean, because we fight all the time. I mean, that's who we are. We are father's children. But, you know, because I'm the older one, it's my fault. But then when she gets to, like, get away with stuff, it's like, really? You still gonna stick? You still gonna, like, have her back? You still gonna, like, protect her punishment? You know, it was just like, whatever. But I still shouldn't. And then it was just like, once it got to the point where I'm just like, man, this is crap. That's when things started to change a lot. But all this time, like, I thought it came from the Marine Corps, and it really came from them. But, you know, just being a Marine is just not easy. It's not easy at all. Sitting there trying to, like, fit in, you don't fit in. Sitting there trying to, like, make something of yourself in this cold world where they still fear that you might, like, snap and get your gun and shoot up the place. Like, we're all like that. It's like, it's not like that at all, honestly. But they don't see it like that because of all the old stories they hear and the publishing that people get. You know, always trying to put veterans down. Like, we're crazy, we're psychos. So then, like, when you have new veterans coming out of the military trying to, like, make something for themselves, like, it's harder for them. And then, like, the divorce rates, you know, why are they so high in the military? Because, you know, we're not trained on the ability to make it work for our spouses. They have classes and stuff, they teach you this and that, but there's certain things you can teach, there's certain things you can't teach. And you just can't teach a military man not to be influenced by other cheating military men. And you can't train non-military. You can't train a non-active the what military wife. We call them military wife. You can't train a military wife to be like, hey, he's not gonna die. He's gonna come back to you. You know, because most women cheat because either they've been cheated on or they think that they're not gonna see their loved ones again. And it's like you gotta train them for that stuff. You know, and then it sucks when you see people you're around and cheating and stuff, and you hear stories of cheating, and it's like, I mean, you can't be mad. You can't be mad at her if, you know, you give her reasons. You know, you coming in late, like especially when I know the girl and I know the guy, and I have to cover for him. And it's just like it's really none of my business. But you got this girl. I mean, luckily, like, it's nothing much to cover. Everything I said was facts. Like, I don't know what he was doing. I barely hang out with him. You know, yeah, we left. You know, I left the shop. He's probably with, you know, with the other guys. Probably, they do after hour stuff. I know they hit the bowling alley sometimes, have a beer before they go home. It was a camaraderie with them. For me, it was just let me get back. Let me just do this online stuff because I ain't got a lot of friends. So. Yeah, and then wives call me like, oh, what happened? Is he with you? Are you playing basketball with him? I'm like, nah. Yeah, we played basketball like earlier. Not now. I don't know where he is. You know, especially if you don't like tell me like, oh yeah, cover for me. I'm not cover for him. I'm not gonna tell him like, oh yeah, he's out with a girl. No, that's not my job. That's that's his job. No, that's the friend's job. Man, this match is dope. Oh man, it's just veterans. There's a lot of veterans out here, and I'm pretty sure there's veterans all over the globe. But you know, we the only ones that praise our veterans because you know they're the ones that you know we're trying to be patriotic as much as possible when you go around the globe. We don't care about them veterans out there. You know? But then, like, you know, they're still doing the job. They still got stuff to do, but you know, nobody shows love to them. It's just a sad day. It really is a sad day. But I mean, it's sad when you think about it. But most of the times, I really don't. I'm just kind of like, you know, just letting the days pass by, and then somebody like says something. Like, oh shit, I forgot it was damn. Um, Man, I wish the streaming didn't take up so much of my juice. But I get it. I get it. Oh man, these edibles are kicking in. Hello again, friends, and you are my friends. Thunder rolls up, thunder rolls up. Ah, ah. Oh, man, what I'm gonna eat today? Pancakes. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna make French toast. Not French toast, spaghetti. Yeah, the only reason why I'm eating a lot of French toast is because I bought these things for spending. Like I said, spending. Trying to spend it, trying to trying to get paid once a month is the hardest because planning for 30 days is difficult. Trying to like make sure you have everything in a timely manner and you can go. Make sure that you have money all week long, especially when you have to spend like what on average $100 a week. Because that's all I really have when it comes to like my rent, my bills, Yeah, that storage unit is killing me. I need to get rid of it completely. But trying to get everything down here is difficult. I need a car. Miss Cristal. I want my Cristal. But I gotta wait. Damn, man. I can go for a steak if I wanted to. Steak and fries. Give me a steak. But paying for a steak, it might be a big mistake. Because I've got to save my money. I've got to save my money. Until I take those socks back. Oh, wait. I think that's like $10. So it's like, yeah, I gotta take that stuff back because we don't need it this month. I don't need no heavy socks or fleece spray. These don't swear, man. Once everything goes as well as the way I plan it, once everything I plan goes in motion and people start to see it works, I'm gonna tell everybody I fucking tried to tell you. Because fuck, man, people make it more difficult for me than trying to make it easier, and I'm just like, fuck. And that's just the shit veterans gotta deal with, is the fact that, you can actually plan these things and you treat me like shit. I smoke a lot of weed because I lost a lot of shit. And if I get certain shit back, I'll probably stop. Because all this is a chemical rebalancing for me. When I get chemically imbalanced, when I think about a lot of people, just like certain people, because I still miss them. They're my homies. That's my Niha. It's like, but that's why I smoke, because I'm sad. But I'm still happy though. I still get happy. Like, I like my life. I like my wife. She's not my wife, but she makes me happy. She just says a lot of craziness and suggests a lot of crazy things and doesn't know how to like win. I see, and it's like a common thread with a lot of women. They don't know how to win, so they kind of make it worse for everybody instead of trying to make it work for everybody. And so yeah. And that's why I'm going to have a chicken for Thanksgiving. I might do a Thanksgiving dinner for myself if I can sustain enough money for a dinner. But I don't know, because I'm running out. Maybe take those back at some point. I'll probably do it on a Saturday then. In case y'all try to do a calculated math on me. I would love to get back into photography as a way to have some fun again, bring some spark back in my life, but we'll see, because I don't know how to travel. I gotta get a new camera, and it's not a money investment, like when you don't need a photographer. Like, you can hire a photographer, like you can hire famous photographer. You can hire a named photographer. You can hire a photographer that's a hit photographer, I should say. And you can get more popular for working with that photographer. You can draw his audience, but like
amateur photographers, intermediate photographers, like the game got really hard for them to the point where like most of them have to like sustain themselves with naked women. Like I'm glad I sustained with like half naked women and dressed women and fashionable women and stuff like that. But damn, like a lot of intermediate photographers have to sustain themselves with naked women, half naked women, mostly naked women. They gotta get them to show their butt cheeks. They gotta get them to show their boobies. They can't show their nipples because it's Instagram. That's where they're gonna get most of their networking from. They might try the TikTok thing. They might try to build fans from TikTok, but they're not really. I mean, you might draw a few that might be inspired by your photos, but most of them are into just content. They just want to see content, and if you're not a content maker, then you know it's just there's only so much you can do. But I would love to get back into it again. It's just I don't need to buy a camera again. I wish I never sold it, but I know why I did at that point. Like I literally was hungry. And my first meal I had was a cheeseburger because had I not had a cheeseburger, I probably will never have a cheeseburger for the next like several weeks. It would have been just straight tacos. But that was when I didn't have a kitchen, so it was just straight tacos for me. Straight eating tacos. And now that it sucks because like I don't realize that I was dealing with drums, like the oil drums, when I was living in like California and stuff like that. And now that like I got like this little tank, and it's like fuck, you know, I gotta make sure like I'm not burning my tank out, burn as low as flame as possible. Man, I don't know what to tell you, but what was I doing? Oh yeah, I lost money. Oh, I have to rebuild money. Yeah, I'm thinking about Yakuza because like I gotta like play street. I gotta play street gambling, and I'm doing this dice game, but you really don't have technique. You just kind of spurt whatever random combination you get. It's not like you have it automatically is programmed for you to get certain shit. You know, which is cool because they really went all out with that game. You know, a lot of its features. And I guess because of timing, they couldn't get everything. But yeah, that's great. Man, that's amazing. So I gotta do that. I was trying to do it last night, but I got so high. I got really tired. When you get so high, like you get tired. And you're just like, yeah. Because of what? I didn't save. I lost a lot of money because I was trying to understand the craps system. They're basically playing craps, but the Japanese version of craps. CeeLo, actually. They call it craps, but it's really CeeLo. Because craps is with two dice. But, yeah, then in conclusion, really, just try to do more for veterans. Talk to them, you know, show love to them, you know, really, because, yeah, I know everybody else is struggling too, but I'm telling you right now, veterans are struggling hard. Like, a lot of them have been struggling for a long time, and a lot of them try to tell you, but because it wasn't post Me Too era, you kind of brush them off, and you're like, you're just being weak, you know. And that whole mindset really kind of fucks veterans up because, you know, we become too weak to really tell our pain, you know, and then we hold our pain and it destroys us. And then, like, you know, when things will go our way, you know, we kind of blame our pain for shit that goes wrong in our lives. You know, you might go on a date and then, like, you know, you give yourself to a date and he doesn't call back or something like that, or she doesn't call back, and you try to set up a second date, and you know she's kind of like, I don't want, I'm kind of like dating somebody else, kind of like that kind of a routine. They'll use their pain to kind of like subject why like they failed with that person, and even though you gave your body to that person, it still wasn't enough to really like sustain them a little bit more or a lot more, and we kind of use our pain to like kind of really destroy ourselves, because that's what we were taught, that's what we were told. You just kind of, just suck it up, and that's like, and like, man, you complain about stuff too much. Sometimes you just gotta let shit go, let it fly, But look how many people like not let shit go. Like, look how many people came with stories that they held for so long, like 20 years stories, 16 years stories, 18 years stories, 40 years stories, 50-year stories. And people have been coming up with stories all throughout time. You have people grown up talking about what happened to them when they were a child. Finally, you sit there and you know you it's just great. It's crazy how much a lot of, especially veterans, they go through. A lot of them come from broken homes. A lot of them come from homes that, like, they had to leave. A lot of them come from, some of them come from, like, shelters, adoption shelters, adoption homes, because they don't have a dog in a fight. And it's just sad. And then, like, when you have people within your circle talking about, like, oh, it was never that bad, it wasn't that hard, and blah blah blah, and you're sitting there and you're just like, you weren't even you didn't even like stick around, you were gone. Like, everybody else was gone. They were gone. They didn't even stay like 4 years at the house. Like, how often do we stay at that house? The only person that did was the only ones that really had it the easiest. And then you want to sit here in front like it wasn't that bad. That's kind of the problem, is that they make us out to be like we're crazy, and it's just like, how that feels to a veteran to feel like they're crazy when, like, they've been to combat. Yeah, they've been through combat territories. Yeah, but they're still good people. They still try to do what they can for themselves and for people around them. They still try to be, still try to be a good civilian. They still try to make good money, like, like the toughest competitors. But then you want to, like, can them because they're crazy. Oh, yeah, came from Afghanistan. That means they're crazy. Like, the crazy shit. I've dealt with some extreme shit in Afghanistan where I felt like half my love was across the world. Like, I didn't have a dog in that fight. Really, all I had was just time. That's it. Time and the internet. And hope. Everything else was on the other side of the world. Maybe I have an ally here or there. Some people try to stick up for me, but they know if they stick up to me around people, like, it'll be harder for them. So they have to rise. They have to let me fall. I get it, but it still sucks when you feel like you have no dog in the fight. It felt like I was, it was a lot worse than being at the house, but still, that's what it kind of felt like over time. That's why I'd rather be outside. I'd rather be chilling. I'd rather just, I'm ready for adventure. I'm ready for something new. I didn't want the same thing. I was tired of it. I was done.
thinking about it, like if I could have gained the strength that I have today, all I have to do is tell myself like I have to be tough, I have to be stronger, and then like get myself back into like workout shape, and then go in with like a full head of steam and just claim shit. But then I don't want to have to deal with the politics of it because now, like, from what I hear and what I see, like, it's gone like super political. Like the Marine, like even the all forms of all branches of government, all branches of the military, yeah, they've gotten like super political. Because originally it was like the Navy, like they went for the more intelligent ones. If you were like really intelligent, they push for you, and so yeah, now it's just gotten political. Like it's y'all, if they like you more, if you fit a certain billet more, if you if you kind of like make the camaraderie, they try to keep you. They don't for like you got originally got in the military to explore, but then like they'll keep you in the same state that like reminds you of home, like. But I've always wanted to try out California, but they keep you in North Carolina. Or you always want to go over to Japan, but they keep you in California. And then like, oh yeah, you want to leave. Told yourself you want to leave Yuma, but they try to convince you to stay in Yuma because they're family. And then sometimes like it's like any other sport. Sometimes like when you have that much camaraderie and then you just can't withstand. You just can't sustain. You can't stay. You gotta go. People don't know where to go. People stay, and then like they wonder why their wife divorced them or something. They wonder why like their wife is miserable. They don't want to. They don't want to be trapped in this state that's like makes her fat because she doesn't know where to go. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to go to a cooking class. It seems weird, so she orders out, or you bring in like of fast food, and so that's all she eats. She don't work out unless you tell her like, oh, you're getting fat, you need to work out. Then she'll work out, and then she'll eventually quit because it makes her feel miserable. I've seen it. I've seen dudes where they lost their girl, their baby mom. I'm like, whoa, I thought everything was cool. I thought everything was straight. And then one day they just got into it real bad, and then got into a fight. She was pregnant, and then she's talking about like she's trying to keep the baby. Like, now, I'm not saying that like he can't like see her or nothing. She knows the address, but try to make those trips from North Carolina to New Jersey just to see this chick that done moved on you. And, found another dude, like, yo, where did it all go wrong? And now you gotta, like, deal with this dude, deal with this chick, and then, like, she your baby mom, so all in all to see your baby while dealing. And I know that place is gonna stress him out, too. I mean, at that time, he might like the gun laws. Yeah, he might felt empowered with a gun, but ain't no gun gonna save you from taking you away from your baby. I'll tell you that. Because once you face those penitentiary chances, you don't wish you didn't care about those gun laws. That's for real. I heard violent nights of fucking drinking and talking about I think he was listening to Eminem. I'm like, you can't be thinking she's Kim, man. Can't be thinking she's Kim. Cause man, that gun, man, and I remember I did duty too. I don't know if I did duty around that time. I did duty. I want to say it was on Christmas. I think it was on Christmas because I was subbing for somebody, or it might have been another day. All I know is that I was working with this staff sergeant, and I was doing this duty, and it was group duty, so it was like the big duty. I'm like, damn, I've never done this before. Who volunteered me? So I did it, and I'm like, damn, because we were dealing with this case. Military police came through. They said that like we had to like escort this jail. You had to escort this jailbird. I'm gonna call him jailbird for now because I can't think of names. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? Oh, what's his crime? It's like, oh, domestic violence. I'm like, this corporal? Yeah, oh, I was getting the report. He was telling me this shit. He's like, yeah, he tried to, he came back, ever since he came back from deployment, like, it's been like calls about disturbances, and one night he just went like freakishly violent, like, and I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, and then like someone called police on him and they locked him up. I was like, fuck. Yeah, that part was she's pregnant. I'm like, shit. And I remember how like escorted him to like, and then it was crazy too. You know, I just got my license because I remember the staff were asking me like, you got your license? I was like, yeah, I just got it. Not to confuse myself with getting the car. I got the car like a day after my birthday. The day on my birthday, I signed a lease for a car. Not a lease, but I signed papers for a car. I signed a refinance for a car. It was like a time before, like I got my license in North Carolina. So now I get to rent cars, see chicks. But my boy was like, yeah, sometimes I don't even want to drive. Like, got you to get your license so you can drive me. I'm like, okay, I'll escort you, not a big deal. That's how I got my license the first time. But yeah, so I got my license. So yeah, I'm capable of driving. So I'm sitting there driving a government car, baby. Yeah. I was even able to pump gas. I love it. Like things that like you never think you'd be able to do is pump government gas. I never thought I was able to do that. But yeah, I had to escort this corporal. Like I was just like, damn. Using shackles too. Like it was kind of embarrassing looking at a guy in uniform. He was in uniform, like desert camis. And yeah, I had to escort him to the chow hall so he can get some chow. And then he sat down with him, ate. And then yeah, we took him back, and then they took him back to the jails, the brigs. I was like, shit, man. Yeah, it's the military. Like people like look at veterans and like they look at us like these John Wayne looking guys, and a lot of us look like these guys from like Law and Order and shit. The guys that no, we're not the murderers, and then some of them might actually be the murderer. You know, I'm not saying that military people go out and murder, but if we're not inspiring it, we're drowning ourselves in it and thinking of it. And that's just one of those things where like that's why I say like do nicer things for veterans, because we appreciate it a lot more. And sometimes like it might scare off a veteran, but I'd rather scare off a veteran with kindness than to be stale and to wish them a happy Veterans Day and thank you for your service. So yeah, just think about that. Think about it. Anyways, this is Corporal Harris speaking. Just kidding. Nah, but yeah, just be nicer to veterans, be kinder to veterans, and be friendlier to veterans. Think about it. Now I need some music.